John, let's start off easy. So how'd you get Peyton Manning?
We just showed him what we had. I think that was our approach the whole time, was to show Peyton what the Denver Broncos are all about, what Mr. Bowlen has created in the Denver Broncos and the organization, what John Fox about, what our staff's about, and show him around. And so, I think that, we laid it out there for him. We didn't want to try to push him in the corner or hard sell him or anything. We just tried to lay it out there and show him what we were all about, and thank God he liked what he saw.
I don't know that I've ever seen a bigger sea change at the most important position on the field than the one that you just made. Talk to me about it.
Well, and I think that's the case because we've never had a free agent available like Peyton Manning before. I mean, it's never happened in the history of the NFL. So when you have a guy that like Peyton Manning that has had the career that he's had already in the NFL, and then he's available on the market, he can switch things in a hurry as he's done here.
When you won last year, it wasn't your recipe for success. Even though it was success, it wasn't your recipe for success. You received criticism for not fully supporting Tim. How frustrating, and what was it like?
I think that when I look back at last year, I think if you look back where we were coming from the year before, we were 4-12 the year before, had the second draft pick in the draft. So I think that when you look at the strides that we made last year to going from 4-12 to 8-8, winning the division, and plus winning a playoff game, I think we hadn't done that. We'd won one time in the last 10, 12 years. We'd won one playoff game. And so I think the mentality, when I look back at last year, it's not so much of what we did, it's the mentality change that we had, and played a lot better defense than we had the previous 4 or 5 years. And so we made huge strides last year, and we just want to continue to make those strides, and we made bigger strides this year.
I think, though, I see how much of John Elway do you see in Peyton Manning?
Well, what I see in Peyton Manning is the ability to win a world championship, and that's why I came back. And so, Mr. Bowlen asked me to come back and help out, and I was thrilled to have the opportunity to do that. But I came back because that's in my position, and having played in the league for 16 years, that's what this league's all about. And so, Peyton gives us that ability because of the importance of that position. Plus, he's done it before. He's been there twice before and won one. So he gives us that ability, and really the bottom line is, and that's what Pat Bowlen wants. He wants world championships.
Bit of a setup, because I didn't see much of you in the guy who was quarterbacking last year.
Well, I think there's always different styles, and I think that when you look at Peyton Manning, and if you compare us, our styles were a little bit different also. But the one congruent thing that Peyton and I have is the ability to win a world championship, because he's proved it. Yes. And I was fortunate to be on teams that got a couple too, and so that's what we were looking for in Peyton. And he's been out a year, and I think that he's excited to be back. And even though he doesn't have a lot to prove, I think the type of guy that he is, he feels like he does.
Hard to make that transition from great player, we have found it out throughout the history of sport, to great executive, great coach. How important is it for you to be successful at this, and how important for you to do it for Pat?
Well, I think, number one, I'd like to be successful at it, because football, I was thrilled with the career that I had, but at 38 years old, I wasn't done with my life and retired from the football. So whatever that next step was going to be, I wanted to be good and be the best that I could at that position. And fortunately, Mr. Bowlen gave me the opportunity. And plus, Pat, since he's been here in 1984, he's won the second most games of any owner in the NFL. And so you know what he's about, and he's a winner, and he takes care of his people. And but also, you understand when you work for him that what he's all about, and that's world championships.
What does this team have to do over the course of the next 5 weeks to get ready for the first 6 games that I looked at on that schedule?
Yeah, we got to come out of the chute. It's tough, but you know what? Every game, as you know, every game in the NFL is tough, but I think that we'll just continue to work together. We had a great offseason. The OTAs and the mini camps were great, and Peyton's getting more comfortable with everybody. And I think bringing Jack Del Rio on the defensive side, Dennis Allen did a tremendous job last year, but they got the opportunity to go with the Raiders. But Jack Del Rio brings a tremendous amount of experience on the defensive side, and I think we'll be better on the defensive side. So we just got to continue to work better and continue to make strides. And as you know, you always have to get a little bit lucky with injuries. Those things play such a big role in a lot of seasons that you have, that you just have to get a little bit lucky there and be fortunate there.
What happened when Peyton first walked in this building? From the time he walked in until now, because I walk in the building and I see it's a different mindset.
Well, I mean, I think there was a lot of it when, you know, when John Fox walked in last year, it changed the mentality because of the type of guy that John Fox was. And then when Peyton walked into the building this year, you know, with you know, his career and the respect that he has around the league and from the other 52 guys that were on this football team, you know, he uplifted the whole organization and, you know, gave him that hope. You always got to have that hope and belief that you can win a world championship, and you got to have someone in that position that you believe can do it for you, and that's what he gives us. And I think that, you know, it raises all boats, as John has said, because of Peyton's work ethic and the way that he goes about it, and, you know, his attention to detail is tremendous. And so everybody can feed off it, all the other quarterbacks as well as all the other players.
Worried at all about Peyton's health and, you know, what could happen?
No, I'm not. I mean, I think that, you know, if Peyton was worried about it, I think that, you know, he's a guy that, you know, wanted to play football but wasn't going to put the rest of his life in jeopardy. And so I'm not worried about it, other than the fact that, you know, it's a rough game and anybody can get hurt in the game. But, no, I'm not concerned with Peyton's health.